All right, 59 the Wahlbergs, by the way, to start open breakfast and have now opened the burger joint as well.
All right.
We're both right. There you go. You're watching Good Day.
From KDFW Fox 4, the only local news at 7 a.m. Thanks for choosing Good Day on Fox 4.
Some, but not all, boaters can finally hit the busiest lake in North Texas this weekend. It's sort of open.
You may be paying more at the grocery store because of a national shortage of eggs. Details ahead.
And the winds will be a problem today, but we might see an air quality alert this afternoon. We're going to talk about when and where coming up.
Well, good morning. It is Friday, June 5th. I'm Tim Ryan.
I'm Lauren Prisbel.
Memorial Day weekend was a bust. This weekend should be much better for boating.
Yeah, if you can get your boat in the water. Dan is live at Lake Louisville to explain. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Lauren, and we are glad to report that the water level here has gone down about 1.5 feet recently, but boy, it still has a ways to go before it reaches anything resembling normal. Now, way off in the distance, we can see a street sign that says no right turn. That's good advice. The edge of the lake is normally just beyond the line of trees here. There is just too much water remaining in this area. However, starting today, the Army Corps of Engineers says Lake Louisville is being reopened to boat traffic. The lake had been declared off limits after all the heavy rains. There was concern that wakes from the boats could flood lakeside homes, but that threat has dissipated. However, the Army Corps says boaters still need to be very aware of their surroundings because there are still obstructions and debris just below the surface of the water. Also, in spite of the lake being open to boats, all boat ramps remain closed because of high water levels. At Grapevine Lake, boat ramps are also closed. That lake is open to boaters, but they are also being strongly encouraged when they're out on the lake to avoid going into areas that are nearby buildings and other structures, because again, the concern is that waves or wakes from the boats could cause flooding to property right along the shoreline. Reporting live at Lake Louisville, Dan Godwin on Good Day.
Oh, beautiful start to the day. It's Friday. A lot of kids have last day of school for a lot of kids today.
Yes,
How
it is.
exciting.
I'm sure the police officers all across North Texas are excited about that because now all those kids are going to be out on the streets at 3 in the morning.
Oh, not all of them.
I think most kids will be asleep by then, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. What I do know how it works is what we're going to see this afternoon, and that's the air quality alert. So folks, I want to remind you, if you are in one of the sensitive groups, so folks with asthma, the elderly, the especially young, don't overexert yourself this afternoon as the ozone and pollutant levels will be higher, so you might be seeing some more asthma issues. Just keep your inhaler with you, and you should be just fine. As you're looking at temperatures, though, it's starting off today mid-60s to low 70s for much of the area. A few spots a little warmer than that. It's 75 in Dallas, 72 in McKinney, and about 67 over in Graham. Current dew point, they're up there, anywhere between mid and upper 60s. That, of course, is going to make the air quite a bit juicier for the afternoon. The heat index just about where we are right now. Not making a difference, but Chip, really going to see that heat index make a difference this afternoon. We'll see a high of 92, but it'll feel like maybe about 94, 95, so enough to make a difference.
Yeah, no doubt. Right now, we're going to focus our attention right back in North Dallas along 635 LBJ. We've had a bad wreck in the last 15 minutes occur in the eastbound direction between Hillcrest and Coit. The changes that have happened here, that's what we're going to get to first. The tolled lanes, they have opened up once again. They've let drivers get by in the left lane to continue over, under 75 Central Expressway. The two left lanes are still blocked. This incident involves a motorcycle. We know that the ambulance has come and gone. And that's all the information we know at this point, other than it was a bad crash. The two right lanes getting through means that we have a backup that's heavy to the tollway interchange, and it's adding about 15 minutes to the drive in this area. Our next stop is going to be the southern part of Dallas County, as we now have confirmation that we do indeed have trouble on I-20 westbound at the Highway 67 interchange. There is a look at the activity blocking up the right lane, and that in turn has caused a backup that is growing quickly back towards I-35E. So again, heading from to Duncanville from I-35E taking longer than normal. The drive right now at the south end of the DFW airport, okay. We haven't had any problems on 183 so far. 114 around the north end of the airport's faring well. In the Corinth community, southbound on I-35, still have problems at the exit ramp that services both Post Oak and Corinth Parkway, and the backups have been consistently slow back past the State School Mayhill Road interchange. Lauren?
One man died in a crash that left his car wrapped around a light pole. This was near Eastfield College in Far East Dallas. Firefighters worked to pull the driver out of that car about 2:30 this morning. They say the driver lost control, the car spun. The impact of that crash lifted the pole and its concrete barrier right out of the ground. A woman was arrested for drunk driving after her car ran into a Dallas police squad car early this morning. That squad car was blocking traffic for a construction project on LBJ right near Preston. An officer posted these pictures of the incident on Twitter. No officers were hurt. A Dallas police officer was injured, though, when he was grazed by a speeding car last night. This was in West Oak Cliff. The driver ended up flipping the car. That person's in the hospital. Both are expected to recover. The Parker County Sheriff's Office found the body of a teenager in the swimming pool of his home last night.
Home's in a community between Weatherford and Springtown, west of Fort Worth. 15-year-old James Eder was last seen Thursday afternoon. He was autistic, suffered seizures. One of the first places deputies searched was the swimming pool, but they did not see him.
The water was murky. Apparently it doesn't have a pump or anything on it. And the water was murky, and so if he was lying on the bottom, you wouldn't know it.
Deputies, with the help of state police and trained dogs, searched the area for more than 6 hours before finally finding the teenager. Some people in Irving want answers about why there have been so many earthquakes.
City council members agree, but they're leaving the investigation up to the state. The legislature approved money to study the problem that many people believe is linked to oil and gas production.
It just simply takes time, but that report's going to go to the governor, and we're going to aggressively follow up with our state legislature and with the governor's office that whatever the findings are, that solutions are then prepared and identified to help resolve the issue, depending on what those findings are.
A team from SMU is on the case, and so is the Texas Railroad Commission. Over the past year, more than 60 small earthquakes have hit North Texas, most centered in Irving. A national egg shortage really is affecting stores and businesses now.
And really impacting all of us, driving up prices. Dion Anglin here with more on that.
Yeah, that's right. Just think how many families at their homes, all the restaurants that depend on eggs. One business, though, that can't function without the staple, bakeries. The Paris Bakery in Arlington, for one, is feeling the effects of this shortage. The folks there say they need eggs to make countless numbers of cakes, cookies, and sweet rolls. Not only are there fewer eggs available now, but the cost has skyrocketed. The egg dilemma: some 44 million Midwest turkeys and chickens have died from an outbreak of avian flu or were euthanized to stop the spread. Well, local grocer Kroger is optimistic it has not placed restrictions on egg purchases, noting it gets its eggs from a local supplier in Prosper.
We saw this coming several months ago when we first heard about the bird flu, and it could potentially affect both turkey, chicken, and of course egg commodity. So we were able to lock in some prices. We were able to lock in some supplies.
Whataburger Restaurants this week limited its breakfast hours, stopping at 9 instead of 11 during the week. H-E-B, which owns Central Market, is rationing eggs, posting signs asking customers to limit their purchases to 3 cartons. And that bakery we visited in Arlington tells us the bulk price for a box, including 15 dozen eggs, it normally pays around $22, but now that price, $47, more than double. Tim, Lauren, back to you.
Thanks. For the FBI investigating the theft of personal information about millions of federal government workers.
China's the suspect. We're hearing something short of denial. Jackie Abanez reports.
A massive data breach within the U.S. government could affect as many as 4 million federal workers. That's according to the Obama administration, which confirmed the hack Thursday.
The thing that struck me in the initial reports about this particular breach is that they called it one of the largest. breaches. I mean, that's terrifying. If this isn't the largest breach, that tells us that we are very vulnerable to these kinds of attacks.
The breach, which is believed to have been carried out by hackers based in China, targeted the Office of Personnel Management, but other federal agencies are likely affected. Reports indicate that names, addresses, and Social Security information were compromised. And analysts claim that's just the tip of the iceberg.
You can just imagine what they would do with this kind of information. I mean, it's basically a roadmap for how to blackmail the people in the U.S. government with the highest security clearances. You go to them, you know what their weaknesses are, you know all sorts of intimate details about them, about their career, about their life. It is a huge concern.
Meantime, a spokesman for the Chinese embassy in Washington responding to accusations that his country is behind the breach, saying, quote, "Jumping to conclusions and making hypothetical accusations is not responsible and counterproductive." Regardless, some say the U.S. still needs to send China a strong message.
I think we need to do to China in kind with the proviso, not starting a cyber war, but saying this is deterrence.
Affected workers are being offered credit monitoring and identity theft insurance while the FBI investigates the breach. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Well, a major earthquake injured 11 people, stranded more than 130 on a mountain in Malaysia.
It was a magnitude 5.9 quake that struck at the highest peak on Mount Kinabalu. Climbers' route is blocked by rocks and boulders loosened by that quake. Bad weather and high altitude also making rescue efforts difficult right now. More bodies are being recovered from the capsized river cruise ship in China. The ship's been righted finally. Nearly 100 bodies were found after that happened. More than 330 people, mostly elderly, still missing, however. The government says the chance of finding anyone still alive is very slim.
It is 7:12. Ed Wallace tries out a high-performing BMW you'd have to drop 100 grand on just to buy. Well, let us know if it's worth the price.
A free ride expands, taking riders to places they've not gone before.
Okay, we're going to see temperatures in the 90s all weekend long. The sun out. Jennifer has the warm forecast ahead.
Coming up, more local news, weather, and traffic first. Plus, Indycars take the track at Texas Motor Speedway. Help me, I can't stop making vroom vroom noises.
It is 7:15. 3 homes were demolished, 25 others damaged when a tornado swept through Colorado last night. The storm brought hail, very heavy rain, and lightning. Luckily, no one was hurt. This is one of the 2 tornadoes that touched down in Simla, a rural community about 60 miles southeast of Denver. A storm chaser caught the twister crossing a road in that rural area. Luckily, only inhabited by jackrabbits and storm chasers.
They were out in force yesterday.
The rabbits were?
The storm chasers.
Oh.
Maybe the rabbits too.
Could have. Not when they saw that.
They would have been running.
Yeah, tough day yesterday for Colorado. Even Kansas saw, I mean, just tons of hail with those same storms. So we're not seeing that. We're not seeing any storms at all. We're just seeing warmth, air quality issues this afternoon for sensitive groups. But aside from that, I mean, it's almost the weekend. It's Texas. We're enjoying it. So, and beautiful Louisville Lake. Aha! That's why they're saying that in my ear. Gorgeous start to the day. Unfortunately, you can still see it's flooding. Normally there aren't trees that grow out of the middle of the water like that. But for folks that are headed out to the area lakes, it's really going to be a great weekend for it. You just have to make sure that the boat launches are open because unfortunately many area lakes still don't have their boat launches available at this time. So let's talk about the big picture here. We were saying all the storms that broke out into Kansas and Colorado yesterday. Yeah, here's what we were seeing. Check this out. Those storms continue to barrel through Kansas all the way into Missouri, causing some issues there. Just know if you are traveling to some area or from DFW to maybe all the way towards Denver and of course towards St. Louis, there could be some travel delays there. But here in DFW, just some high clouds here and there, making for a beautiful start to the day. The sunrise made a little bit more spectacular by those high clouds, but not really seeing any issues with rain. Upper 60s and low 70s to get us started right now. You can see it's 71 at DFW, 72 in Paris, 66 in Stephenville, and about 70 this morning in Palestine. But what about this afternoon? That's what a lot of folks want to know. I mean, by lunchtime, we should be up to about 85 degrees. Most of the clouds stay on the low side. We'll see some breaks here and there, but for the most part, most of the cloud cover stays to the east. This model says we get up to 89. I think 92 is a little bit more reasonable, so this model just a little on the cool side, but as you can see, for the most part, nailing the fact that the clouds stay to a minimum. In the overnight hours, mostly clear skies, back down to the 70s, and then tomorrow morning, great day to start your morning off with some fishing for a morning run. Temperatures in the low and mid 70s across much of the region. Now, as we look at today's broken down forecast, tons of sunshine. I mean, you're not going to avoid that today. 92 is what we're calling for in terms of the high temperature. The winds southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Once again, that air quality alert in effect until 4 p.m. today for sensitive groups. Now, 93 is what we're calling for on Saturday. The warmest day of the week comes Sunday at 94. Normal for this time of year is about 5 degrees less than that, so we are above average. But we stay in the 90s all week long. Check this out. All the way through next weekend, we should be in the low to mid 90s. Only one chance for rain. It's on Wednesday, and it's only about 30%.
We're going to go straight down to I-20 in the Highway 67 interchange because we still have trouble on the right side of the roadway there. It's caused a slowdown that takes about 10 minutes to sit through, and that's it. By the way, in the southern part of Dallas County, there's also a bad crash around Simpson Stewart and Bonnie View in that intersection, so remember that. 635 LBJ is going to be our next stop. You've been watching us for a while, then you know we've been really concerned about an incident involving a motorcycle that has happened between Hillcrest and Coit. The 2 left lanes are still blocked, and the right lane of the tolled lane still sealed off by all the emergency activity there in that area, and that in turn has caused a backup beyond the tollway interchange. You folks in Denton County, a reminder, we still have some trouble at the exit ramp to go over to Post Oak, Corinth Parkway, and it's been consistently heavy back to around the State School Mayhill Road interchange. We have some new trouble that you need to be aware of trying to move up to the south end of the DFW airport. Northbound on 360, just north of I-30. The crash itself has been moved to the left shoulder, but you can see there is a significant backup there beyond Division. You folks over on the East Loop, moving from the Jacksboro Highway over to 183, not too bad so far this morning.
Riding along in my automobile, my baby
Construction crews are repairing a ramp that was buckling on the south side of DFW Airport. That ramp goes from International Parkway to southbound Highway 360. TxDOT has not said whether the recent rains caused the problem. Drivers will have to find an alternate route until repairs are done. The McKinney Avenue trolley, also now known as the M-Line trolley, is expanding.
That's right. The $10 million expansion put a new loop on the trolley line into downtown Dallas along Pearl and then up Olive. City leaders mark the opening today. The public can ride it tomorrow during a trolley social. It will introduce riders to businesses along the route.
It is 7:20. Coming up next, car critic Ed Wallace takes a look at a BMW with a sporty soul and, boy, a hefty price tag.
Here are the winning lottery numbers. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million.
Your lovin' give me a thrill, but your lovin' don't pay my bills. Now give me money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Oh yeah.
Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty.
Oh yeah, a couple traffic problems out there. We'll check back in with Chip. He's been monitoring them. It is 7:23 and Ed Wallace has a fancy car, huh?
I know, and this would be very frustrating if you were driving this car because you couldn't go as fast as you want to go because of that darn rush hour traffic. Hi, Ed.
Hello, Tim and Lauren. Usually when BMW offers me their M-Series vehicles to review, I pass on them because they're high-end sports cars is what they are. And to me, they're not particularly enjoyable driving around town, although I'm sure they're a riot going out to a racetrack on the weekend. That being said, when they said they had an M-Series in the X5 SUV, I said, I got to review this. Let me tell you the price start. Base price, almost $100,000. This one's $106,550. That's a lot of money, and here's what you get. A 4-liter engine, twin turbo, with 567 horsepower and instantaneous torque. One of the cool things they do is on the heads-up display out in front of you. It shows you how fast you're going, and it posts the speed limit right next to it. So when the police pull you over, you can tell them exactly how fast you were going. Now, let's go to the interior. In this arena, it looks exactly like a BMW X5, which is nicely done, lots of buttons, fairly large. They're well lit at night and they're well descriptive during the day, so you're not punching buttons by mistake. Their iDrive over the years has gotten better and better and better to where it's easy to actually move functions around on the car while you're driving without major distractions. Air conditioner seemed to be pretty darn good. Going here to the back, as any other X5, you've got plenty of room for people in this vehicle. I'm going to say 5, you probably go 6 feet in it. It's that nicely done. Now, out on the road, it has a really good ride and drive on this M Series because you can dial in economy, sport mode, sport plus, or comfort. So everyday driving this is as nice as any other BMW that isn't an M. And lots of room here in the back. And I like this on the BMWs where you have the second panel that goes down. Because if you go grocery shopping or whatever, you have a driveway on an incline, nothing rolls out when you open it. So overall, I really liked everything about this vehicle. It did have a couple little things wrong with it. It has lights in the side mirrors that kind of warn you for blind spots if somebody's in a lane next to you not to turn into it because you'll hit them. And believe it or not, they didn't always work this week, twice. Also on the navigation system, which was really great, the traffic on it didn't always tell you that the freeway was shut down. Happened to me twice. But other than that, at $106,550, I had to ask my friend Aaron Wines at Autobahn, how many of you sold? And guess what? They're sold out, and he said he's got 16 customers he'd like to get them for, and may not get that many. With that, y'all have a good weekend.
Really? Wow. Thanks, Ed.
And you can listen to Ed on 570 KLIF tomorrow. His car column is in tomorrow's Fort Worth Star-Telegram in the automotive section.
It is 7:27. The field of Allen Eagle Stadium is being prepped for graduation. Yep. They're going to have some graduating seniors there today. The facility opens for the first time in more than a year.
Kids are out of school. A sunny, warm weekend is here, and North Texas' busiest lake is sort of open for business.
All the joys we've known, we can face.
It's 7:30 a.m. and Good Day continues live and local on Fox 4.
Floodwaters have gone down at Lake Louisville. That means it's back open for recreational use this weekend for most parts of it.
Yeah.
Got to be careful.
Right. With some limitations. If your boat's not already there, you may have a hard time getting it in the water, Dan.
Yes, there are some limitations, Tim. We've set up in an area that used to be adjacent to the lake. Now it's part of it. Over there is a driving range, now underwater. The light poles for the driving range, most of them are in the flood zone. There are two 18-hole golf courses that are closed down because of high water. However, the 9-hole Lake Park course is open. Now, the lake is down about 1.5 feet from its highest level. Starting today, boats are once again allowed out on the water here. The Army Corps of Engineers had prohibited boats, saying the wakes posed a threat of flooding for lakeside homes, but that threat has dissipated. However, the Army Corps says there is still debris and other obstructions just below the surface of the water, so boaters need to be very aware of their surroundings. And all boat ramps remain closed here, so that is going to limit how many boats can make it out onto the water. It is a similar situation at Grapevine Lake. Boats are allowed, boat ramps are closed. Boaters there are being told to steer clear of areas of the lake that are adjacent to buildings, other structures, because again, the concern is that the wake or the waves created by passing boats could cause flooding of property right along the shore. Reporting live at Lake Grapevine at Lake Louisville, Dan Godwin on Good Day.
All right. So, and the nice warm weather will help a little bit. The water's still flowing out of the lakes, maybe a little evaporation, not much.
You actually get a lot of evaporation when you talk about when it comes to the surface area of the lake. That is going to help quite a bit when it comes to those lake levels. So what you said there, it's just really at this point, it's all about drainage and of course the evaporation, but it's going to be slow going either way. When we talk about the forecast for today, I know a lot of kids are, you know, just trying to get off to the bus stop one last time for the school year. Of course, until the big summer break. Off to school, temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. Lunchtime, great time to have lunch outdoors, 84 degrees with mostly sunny skies. A little hot though this afternoon, up to 92, mostly sunny skies all day long. I wish it were this sunny over in the traffic area. Chip, you've been dealing with quite a few issues this morning. I wish I could throw some of the sunshine over there.
Yeah, it would be nice to shed a little sunshine on the drive, but it has been rough. We're going to start with the worst first, 635 LBJ heading in the eastbound direction. This is an area where we had a crash occur involving a motorcycle. Paramedics have come and gone from the scene, and that's basically where it stands. There's a lot of cones and barrels set up, blocking off the left half of the highway. Just the two right lanes can get through on the main lanes, and then the left tolled lane from Preston over towards the termination point at Greenville Avenue is open. And that is the current situation there. We have new troubles heading out of the High-5 now on southbound 75 Central Expressway. It's right around Walnut Hill. At one point, the two left lanes were blocked. It looks like, you know what, that's still the case. So it looks more like a fender bender than a full-blown bad crash. With two right lanes open, that's it. We have an average speed through this area less than 20 miles an hour back around Forest and coming down past LBJ. So please take note of that, you drivers in Richardson and Plano that make this trek on a daily basis. I-20 around the Highway 67 interchange. We've had some trouble on the right side of the roadway, but that just cleared in the last couple of minutes. However, you folks that live in the Wilmer and Hutchins area, there's new trouble on northbound I-45 heading up towards Simpson-Stewart, and emergency crews are heading that way. Tim and Lauren?
Thank you very much, Chip. No surprise, former Governor Rick Perry wants to be president.
We will unleash an era of economic growth and limitless opportunity. We will rebuild America industry. We will lift wages for American workers. It can be done because it has been done in Texas.
He sounded a patriotic and pro-business theme, hoping to erase memories of his disastrous campaign in 2012. He still faces trial, of course, on charges of abusing his power while he was governor. Another Republican presidential hopeful will be in McKinney today. Former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum will talk about fighting radical Islam. He won the Iowa caucuses in 2012, but his campaign fizzled out after that. Santorum will be Chris Wallace's guest on Fox News Sunday, and we will talk with Chris next hour. The most expensive and impressive high school football stadium in the country will hold its first event in nearly a year.
Allen's high school graduations tonight at the $60 million stadium. It was closed 15 months after cracks and other structural problems were found. The contractor and architect spent about $10 million to fix the problems at no cost to taxpayers of the district. 1,400 seniors will walk the stage tonight starting at 7:30.
It is 7:35. IndyCar Racing back at Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. We're going to educate NASCAR fans on what they're going to see with this style of racing.
3 deuces and a 4-speed and a 389.
Welcome back at 7:38. These are live pictures from Sheridan, Colorado. They had some tough storms overnight, and apparently there's a huge sinkhole, and at the bottom of that sinkhole, a police SUV.
Seriously?
Yep.
This is a little bit south of Denver, kind of on the way to Colorado Springs, and they had some vicious storms there.
With tornadoes. And
right.
Yeah.
We heard about tornadoes, very heavy rain, and hail, but sinkholes?
Yeah. You just never know.
All right. We'll see what more we can find out about that. Kind of a weird story.
Yeah.
IndyCar Racing is returning to Texas Motor Speedway this weekend, NASCAR fans.
The president of operations for IndyCar is Derek Walker, and he joins us live from the track this morning. Okay, so NASCAR truck races at TMS tonight, and then the Firestone 600 tomorrow night. What can fans expect?
Well, I would say you're going to see some pretty exciting racing. IndyCar, obviously an Indianapolis car. When it comes to a place like Texas Motor Speedway, which is a bit more banking here, a little shorter racetrack, you get some pretty good speeds, some really close racing. So I'd like to say they'd like to come out and watch these Indy cars go around Texas, because, well, for me it's pretty exciting. I would think they would have to believe the same. So good racing.
The cars look very different from what the NASCAR fans. I mean, you think Texas Motor Speedway, you instantly think NASCAR, but IndyCar racing has been a hit. Now the Indianapolis track is 2.5 miles. This is 1.5 miles. What does that do to the race?
Well, for the racing, it doesn't change it a lot. I mean, it changes it if you're driving on it, obviously. At Indy, you've got longer straights and flatter corners, where here it's a bit like a bull ring. You know, you're on the banking quite a bit here, so cars get, you know, maintain that speed through the banking and around the track. So you just have a faster, shorter racetrack. But for the fans, it's great value, because you've got all these stands around here that give you an absolute 100% view of what's going on. And the other thing about this track, it's unique for us, it's a night race. So, you know, IndyCar really looks pretty damn fast, I think. I mean, you look at them at the night, but we'll let the fans judge for themselves. But I think it'll be a good race.
Super fast. I know we were watching the Indianapolis 500. There's been some serious accidents lately, and I was surprised at some of them where the driver, they're able just to, you know, pop the guy out. But there are some concerns right now.
Yeah, well, we did have some concerns at Indy. We had a very unique situation. You know, the simplest way I can describe it is to test these cars going 200 mile an hour backwards with the rear end poking upwards. So in other words, the floor underneath is a real lift area, and it lifted the cars and flipped them over. But we've moved beyond that. We've thanks to our partners in Chevrolet and Honda, their computing powers, because that's where you really measure this backwards at 200 mile an hour, what's it going to do, on computers. They've simulated that situation, and we now have modifications here on the cars that have moved that takeoff point much higher up the scale. So we don't anticipate the Indy phenomena is going to happen here. You know, we pretty well fixed it for the race in Indy, so I'm pretty confident we're okay here.
We are looking forward to it, yeah, and just what race fans expect in Texas. It's going to be really fast and really loud. So we are looking forward to that. NASCAR truck races at TMS tonight. Firestone 600 is tomorrow night. We've got a link on fox4news.com. Next hour, we're going to talk to a couple of drivers.
Yeah, including the Indy 500 winner, Juan Pablo Montoya. So something to look forward to. Thank you so much. It is 7:42, and coming up here on Good Day, it was a mixed bag of options. On one story that caught the country's attention this week, we're going to hear what you had to say about Bruce, or Caitlyn Jenner, on Tell It to Tim coming up.
It's not nice.
I'm sure it's not.
Hot, sunny, and dry for the weekend. Jennifer has the forecast straight ahead. Chip has Friday morning traffic, and he's got one bad trouble spot.
Monday on Good Day, local news, weather, and traffic to start the week. Brett Baer has the top headlines from around the world, and Marty Turco wants you to ride bikes with him. Helmets on for Good Day Monday.
Welcome back at 7:46. Another look at that sinkhole that swallowed a police SUV car. This is in Sheridan, Colorado, and as you can see, we're a little bit closer this time around. Get a better view, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and the officer apparently not seriously hurt, fortunately, driving along that road and ran right into the sinkhole overnight. You can see the highway workers there. They really want to get close and kind of peer over the edge.
Oh, you can't do that.
You don't want to do that,
Yeah,
do you?
absolutely
No.
not.
Yeah. Go ahead. No. the sergeant, it was about a little after 2 o'clock this morning when he was driving, and then the road gave way and he was able to crawl onto the roof of that SUV, and the officer, and then out of the hole by himself, and the officer flagged down some help. His radios were apparently damaged, so he couldn't use them.
Wow.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. This is south of Denver, where they had some very powerful storms, including a couple of tornadoes out in the country, and very heavy rain and hail as well.
And apparently the sinkhole is continuing to sink. So they've been watching the SUV lately, and it's just going down and down and down.
And that's a great sign that it'll widen as well. I mean, these are the kind of things that come from heavy rains. The rain washes out underneath the roadway, and then of course there's no soil to support the roadway itself, and then you get a car that drives over it. Could happen here too.
Could you just like pour a couple of truckloads of gravel in there and just leave the police car in there?
No. No. I'm sure they're going to want that car back. Were you kidding?
He's kidding. He's kidding. He's kidding.
I don't get sarcasm. I need a donut.
Happy National Donut Day.
We're looking at temperatures this morning. Upper 60s, low 70s across much of the region right now. Really not too much difference than we saw at this time yesterday. Check out the clouds filtering in from the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma area. Just making for a nice sunrise this morning. They really didn't bring anything in the way of rain or moisture. All the moisture though, yeah, it's kind of sticky in the air, giving it kind of a muggy feeling to start. And we're going to talk about how that impacts our afternoon in just a moment. First though, let's talk temps, shall we? By noontime today, low, mid 80s, really getting up there this afternoon, up to 92 this afternoon. By about 6 p.m., by about the time you're getting home from work, getting ready for the weekend, hot, sweaty, sticky. Now you factor in all that stickiness in the air, and it actually increases the temperature, the feels like temperature between 2, 3, possibly even upwards of 4 degrees. So I'll get up to 92 today. It'll feel more like 94, 95. Just be aware that that'll be the case. So if you're stepping out of your car this afternoon and you say, man, it feels warmer than 92, it's the moisture in the air that does that. Great day to head out to the pool. Pool forecast today up to 92, mostly sunny, light winds. Great day. I know a lot of folks are maybe enjoying one more day as the kids are still at school. Yeah, that's it. Then the weekend, of course, starts and we get the first nice weekend of summer, at least meteorological summer. It's going to be warm, though, up to 94 on Sunday. Otherwise, 92, 93. A little bit warm for this time of year. Normal high is about 89 degrees. So we'll be in the low 90s basically all week long. 1, 2, there's really only 3 degrees difference between the lowest high and the highest high. And at this point, yeah, I can just safely say we're in the 90s all week long. Looking forward to that chance of rain, though, on Wednesday. Chip, it's only 30%.
Thanks, Jen. We're going to go over to Fort Worth to start off this report. And on the North Loop around the Mark IV Parkway interchange, had some trouble there in the form of a wreck. I'm just going to bring up a small box there to show you the good news. That wreck itself is actually cleared. Now, of course, what you can also see immediately is the bad news. Even though this crash is cleared, it's still really heavy heading through the construction zone with the average speed under 20 miles an hour. So please keep that in mind. Just south of here, don't know how to candy coat this one, incident involving a 18-wheeler and pedestrian. And that's going to be on Mark IV Parkway just north of Meacham. So again, that area has been cordoned off, so don't even think about going in that area. That's a side street trouble. Here is southbound I-35, better now, moving from Loop 288 down towards the Louisville Lake Bridge. All the earlier trouble around Post Oak, Corinth, clear. Bad news still on 635 LBJ. Heading in the eastbound direction, had an early morning crash occur involving a motorcycle. The investigation surrounding that crash continues in the 2 left lanes and the right tolled lane, part of the LBJ Express. And then just south of here on southbound 75 Central, still have trouble at Walnut Hill with the wreck in the left lane.
The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball through the hole to left field.
Around third, coming in to score the winning run is Leonis Martin, and Shin-Soo Choo walks it off with the base hit.
Your Texas Rangers beat the Chicago White Sox last night to wrap up their series in Arlington. Shin-Soo Choo singled home the game-winning run in the 11th inning, and I knew if the season went on long enough and he stayed healthy, I'd be able to say Shin-Soo Choo without having to pause. Rangers open a series in Kansas City tonight. Shin-Soo Choo. Golden State Warriors needed overtime to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're almost at the end of the NBA season, as we're well into the baseball season. Cavs star LeBron James, 44 points, but Cleveland may have lost another key player, Kyrie Irving. After scoring 23 points, he left the court, appearing to have aggravated a leg injury. The second game of the best-of-7 series is Sunday night. And horse racing fans focused on tomorrow's Belmont Stakes on New York's Long Island.
American Pharoah has the chance to win the coveted Triple Crown of racing. He won the Kentucky Derby and also Preakness. The last Triple Crown winner was affirmed, and that was 38 years ago. The Women's World Cup starts tomorrow in Canada. Workers are putting the finishing touches on the venues that are going to host those soccer matches. The U.S. opens its quest to win the World Cup Monday in Winnipeg against Australia. Canada plays China tomorrow in Edmonton, and Mexico takes on Colombia Monday in New Brunswick. It is 7:52. A massive cyber attack on the federal government is now increasing tensions with China. We're going to talk about it with Chris Wallace from Fox News Sunday coming up in the next Job Good Day.
Doesn't take much to shock the Tell It to Tim crowd, like an Olympic hero declaring that he is a she. Tell It to Tim is next. Welcome back. Well, the coverage of Bruce Jenner's transformation into Caitlyn Jenner got more than a few comments. I was off for jury duty, so no full Tell It to Tim, but here's kind of a mini version.
Yeah, a little sample.
I can't understand why Channel 4 and all other news stations thinks that Bruce Jenner is a news story.
I don't care what anybody says. Caitlin is one ugly broad.
I think he is beautiful. And he's the way he want to be.
I think it's great that he's just being who he wants to be, or she's being who she wants to be.
I am sick and tired of the Kardashians, and now I am sick and tired of Bruce Jenner.
A good reason not to have cable TV.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people were asking about, like, is this really a news story? The fact of the matter is, Caitlin, on her Twitter account, had 1 million followers in just over 4 hours. That beat President Obama when he joined Twitter. So I mean, that kind of says something. Right now, I just checked 2.4 million followers.
Right.
And it's all pretty positive when you look at it.
Well,
I mean,
and-
like the comments and stuff that people are posting.
And no matter what you think about it, you're talking about it.
That's
so
true.
is that, you know, is that the bar for it to be a news story? I don't know. You can tell it to Tim at 214-468-7447 or go to the Good Day page at fox4news.com to send an email. And by the way,
yeah,
I guarantee you I will never be picked for another jury again.
Yeah. Were you like the stickler, like the one that put your foot down and said,
There
"No,
are
this is
rules,
what needs to
people.
be-" Yeah, that's what I thought.
Follow the
You were
rules.
like the one that was, yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want to be on a jury with you. You'd be tough.
7:57. It's no joke. There's an existential crisis in grocery stores. It has people scrambling for answers. In fact, some of you are downright fried by this.
Was that 4 or 5 in there?
There's 4.
4? Plus, boaters and swimmers are going to be able to get back on Lake Louisville this weekend after floodwaters dropped. You got to still be careful. We get the latest on that when we come back. All right, people are going to hit the lake again at Lake Louisville after it was closed because of flooding.